sir. You're looking for me?
I've been told you're taking the next 2 days off.
Yes, sir. Wife's taking my daughter back to town to celebrate my birthday together.
Let's not talk about this right now. I will stay with Katie until you show up from wherever you are.
Hello? Jesse? Katie?
Please.
Jesse?
Don't hurt Katie. She's just a child.
Katie!
I beg you, please.
Tell me what you want. Money?
Listen very carefully, Officer Burns. If you deviate from my instructions, even slightly, or try to call your friends and the police, you will find on your doorstep a nicely wrapped box containing pieces of your wife and daughter by tomorrow morning. You understand?
Son of a bitch is using a transceiver instead of a phone line. It'll be impossible to trace his call signals.
Lock the door again once you are inside, then locate the server room.
Handheld radios usually don't have a lot of range, so he's probably still in this county.
As I've shared in my messages, an unprecedented number of agents defected over the past year.
I've got to track down where Jesse and Katie are held, but I'm not free to move.
You are the perfect person for this job, because you work there. You know the terrain.
Listen to me. Everything you've done since Laura's death will be in vain if we cannot pull through this mess.
Please, take good care of her, Harry. Don't let me regret my decision, please.
Which date is the most important to you in your life?
This is not my fault. I did everything. No, 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 no!
In the world, you will have tribulation. But take heart, I have overcome the world.
And that was Unreachable, folks, by Lost Art Studios. And joining me today for a conversation about it, we got Boyan Chu. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So this is very reminiscent of those spy thrillers, Taken. We talked about that. Tell me a bit about like the development process of how this came to be, Unreachable.
Yes. So I think I've always been fascinated by story-driven video games. I think in the indie space, it's really where you can tell great short stories, right? AAA games have great graphics, great production value, but indie has a chance to like pack a punch if you have a strong story.
Right.
And you know, inspired by games like Firewatch, even movies, Taken, right? We have a little bit of Alien Isolation vibes in there.
When you told me that, I was like, what? I didn't reach that far then to get that.
So they will come later. So I think we just took some inspiration there, even like from anime, if you know, like Death Note. There's a scene in, when Ray Pember, the FBI agent, is being called by Light Yagami, who is the protagonist, and he had to follow his instructions, you know. And
while
so
being watched. And
yes,
then,
yes, exactly. Yeah, so I think those really gave me inspiration to write the story and create this mystery trailer.
So the name Unreachable, where did that come from? And can you give us a backstory, a quick summary of what our protagonist is up against?
Sure.
Here?
So Unreachable is a game where you take on the role of Officer Harry Burns, who's a famous detective in the Falls Depot County. And you found that your family has been taken and kidnapped one night by an unknown kidnapper. And he's only going to talk to you through this radio, handheld radio, throughout the whole story. And he's going to tell you to do some stuff to reach his goals. And if you don't do it, he's going to kill your family.
Yeah.
And so on the one hand, you have to do all these objectives successfully under the time constraint so that your family stays alive. And as your family continues to stay alive, you have to search around for clues to find what happened to them. Why
Under
were
the
they
radar, because they're watching you, right?
Yes, under the radar, and trying to stay alive yourself. And by the end of it, if you can survive through the whole ordeal, and you can rescue them, you can figure out how to rescue them, then you beat the game.
Okay, that's a tall order. I did try it. It is quite hard. We're going to jump into a demo real quick here, and I believe this is we're kind of in the middle of the story here. We've already talked about it here. I'm actually going to let you play because we talked about the alien isolation elements in this game. I didn't reach that far, but you were telling me about ambient lighting in this game.
Yeah. So actually one of the sort of new things we want to try is that classical horror games, they have a very dark environment and you have a flashlight to sort of guide you around. In this game, what we want to do is we completely taken away the flashlight and we are using ambient lighting from the dark room, and just using like little light leaking from the outside and whatever to see silhouettes of the threats. And so it's going to be a little more uncertain.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're just going to try. It's a fresh way of playing.
Okay, let's go. 'Cause, I was going to say, my first time playing it, I was in the first stage where I had to plant bugs in the apartment, right? And I was like, all right, I just can't really see. It was so hard. I kind of got caught a couple times. But now that you're telling me there could be something following us, gets it a lot more scary. So I'm glad that you're the one actually piloting Officer Barnes here. So
sure,
we could jump right into it.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Before we begin, I just want to give a quick shout out
Please
to my
do. Yes.
studio co-founder. His name is Ali Fadlil Maula.
Yeah. Shout
and he's currently based in UK, so he won't be able to be here.
Oh, okay.
But he's responsible for most of the programming and engineering in this game. So shout out to him.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we're just gonna turn up the audio here. Okay, audio seems ready. So what we're gonna enter is a scene where you have infiltrated your boss's house, and you've put a bug so that you can hear him talk to a secret person, and this is all because the kidnappers asked you to do it.
Yeah.
And now the boss realized that you could be in his house, and he's trying to find you.
Oh my.
And you have to evade him while continuing to find clues to save your family. So that's what we're gonna go into right now.
All right, here we go. And you are not kidding with how dark things are. I wish I was nocturnal, or could see
so
night vision.
part of what we're trying to go for is he's gonna come out of the room right in this moment, and you can see there's a quick tutorial. Failure to sneak will alert the colonel and cause him to track you down quickly. You can try to hide in certain places, but do not push your luck. And here he comes.
Oh, and he's got a firearm too.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
I mean, if he catches you, that is it.
Yeah, that's
That is
curtains.
it. So you see, part of what we're doing is it's just enough for you to see kind of where he is, but you can't be too sure, right? You can't be too sure, and that is the new kind of a horror we're trying right here. Yeah, no flashlights. So right now, okay, I know he's downstairs. I'm gonna pop upstairs real quick. I need to find clues to save my family, right? That's my real objective here. So
True.
I'm looking around, and as a famous detective, one thing I have is the keen sense of observation. So clues will pop up to me like that. Clues will just pop up to me. And if
And
I'm
it's
close enough,
highlighted.
I can examine it. And for these kind of clues, I can actually just read them like that.
Okay.
And once I read them, I have a photographic memory, and immediately it gets recorded into my memories, which I can access over here.
Yeah, we found
So-
those in the apartment.
Exactly. So these are some of the clues I found earlier. Yeah, and all these clues will be retained, and you can look at them anytime in the game.
And also, when you're looking for clues, that means you're not paused technically, right? You're still in danger.
You are paused.
Okay,
so
thank
how
God.
it works is that your photographic memory is sort of your mind's eye. So in that moment, you're in your head, and so the game sort of waits for you.
Okay, thank
yeah,
God.
you can take your time there. But one thing is that this game is heavily dependent on sound cues. So actually, there's supposed to be a footstep sound that's coming in, but of course, at the moment, I can't hear the game
Oh,
audio.
it makes it more scarier because again,
Yeah.
we are at an event, folks.
Right,
so
right. But when you actually play the game, you'll realize that the footsteps is so important because you have to hear them. You have to hear them to know where the threat is and whether it's near you, so that whether
To
you
hide
should,
or
to
something.
hide or to continue to go around.
That's
But-
crazy because usually when I play horror games, I turn off the sound.
I
I don't like jump
I
scares, but
see, I
now
see.
without the visual indicator, it's really tough. So
Yeah.
now we're scouting for more clues.
Yeah. So, but the good news is that the jump scare is not the focus of the game. We're not out here to like make you uncomfortable or anything. This is more of a psychological horror.
Yeah.
So we're just giving you that sense of thrill and dread, and as long as you are, oh, I think I see him right
Oh
there.
my. Oh, that's him. Oh my
Oh, that is-
God.
oh, I got
he
found.
saw you. Wow.
Yeah. And then this is an instant kill. So once you get found, that's it. And
I think that's what's even scarier because this is actually could be a real life event where someone could actually be in your house with a
Exactly.
gun, lights are off.
exactly.
Oh, I think that's what keeps you up at night.
Exactly.
anymore.
There's actually a movie not too long ago, a horror movie called Don't Breathe.
Oh yes.
And exactly, it's the kind of vibe where it's a silent, dark place, and the guy's trying to find you, and you have to
He's
evade.
blind though. And it's like,
He was blind, yeah.
That
So
was
this
scary.
is a little different, but that's the
Okay.
vibes we're going for. Yeah, so unfortunately, you have to restart, and we go from the last checkpoint
So
where he pops up.
you mentioned Taken, you mentioned Don't Breathe. What else are the other inspirations you got for this very unique story?
Right. So actually, like you talked about spy thrillers, right? We can go all the way back to the very first Mission Impossible by Tom Cruise.
yeah, he got
Yeah,
framed.
yeah, exactly. And there was like a lot of plot twists.
Changing his route now.
Exactly. Our AI has a bunch of different routes, so he will not always do exactly what you thought he did the last time. So that's one of the things. And one of the things is that we can actually use the laptop here
There was a clue at the back of the.
Yes.
Do you get to save the clues that you gotten before you passed?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
that's one of
nice.
the things. Yeah. So
Okay.
actually, but I can't stay on it too long because I think he might be popping back very quickly. Yes, but you do save, so you can see that I've already found 4 out of the 10 clues
Nice.
in this level. So I'm actually going to.
The garage.
Yeah, I'm gonna plant the bug onto his car because that's what the kidnapper just told me not too long ago. So I have to do that. And once I'm done with that objective, continue to find the clues. And this is one of those areas you have to be very careful because there's lighting, so he can actually see you
Right. Yeah.
from
There's
even
no.
further away.
That's GG's. Okay.
And there we go, we found another clue. Oh, this is like an
What's
interesting
this?
clue.
Oh,
Oh,
a
okay.
receiver.
So actually, some of these clues you can actually use them,
Okay.
right? And you'll impact the items you carry, the equipment. Just gotta be really careful.
I'm getting really intense. I'm supposed to be asking you questions and interviewing you, but I'm
I'm
kinda
supposed to be
drunk.
hearing him, but I'm just gonna go with my gut here. I'm just going to.
So when it came to developing this game, how did you try to balance out the visuals with the sound here? Because right now
Right.
visuals aren't your friend, and it's sound cues. So how many?
Yeah.
How long did that take you to find that good balance?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, that was one of the biggest challenges because we are trying something completely new, right? We're trying to do horror without flashlight. Like flashlight to horror was like, cheese fries with burgers, right?
Yeah, true,
It always
true.
goes together. But what we're trying to do is like we want to bring that vibe from Don't Breathe, like those kind of movies where you're not so sure what you're
Uh-oh.
looking at.
Is he there?
Right.
No, he's not. Okay.
So in order to do that, yes, the sound has to be very precise. You can actually, when you actually play the game, you can hear the sound difference between him in another room. Oh, I just
Jesus.
got found. Yeah, so you can hear the difference when he's in another room versus when he's in the same space as you.
Right.
And the sound has a very nuanced difference. Yeah, in terms of how muffled it is.
Nice.
So you actually can tell, and you can have a judgment there.
And I think that's awesome. And in the indie space, you can explore those ideas because if it's such a big risk, and I think it's really paying off with how well. I mean, I'm very tense right now, so you're able to strike that balance, and now he's changing his route again. Where is he going? Where is this guy
Let's see.
going?
Okay, he's continuing to go.
Also, when it comes to the story, you're not even sure if he's a good guy or bad guy.
Well, you have to play the story to find
Yeah.
out. But for now, all you know that is he doesn't want anybody to hear him talk to this very special person.
Weird, yeah. this
And he
meeting.
suspects that somebody's in his house actually tapping into him, and he's actually right.
Oh.
But he has to find you. So
Okay, we're still good.
one thing I can do is I want to show if you make a noise, he can actually come running after you to the sound of where the noise is made. So
Oh,
if I
nice.
start to run quick,
Oh,
here,
footsteps.
he's gonna come rushing here. So I can actually use the height mechanic
Oh my.
to keep myself hidden from him for a while. But you can't use this too many times.
Yeah, 'cause
he does
you
have a
can't
patience
run.
limit.
Okay.
And after a while, he's gonna kind of figure out that you're hiding. So
That's kind of that's crazy. And realistically, that's what's so scary because if you're sneaking around and there's a big threat against you, of course they'd know. Like,
oh,
all
I
right,
think I just bumped into him. Oh
No,
no,
no.
he just got his back turned. Oh, that was lucky, because I can't hear anything. But when you play, you can hear the sound of him sort of walking up, and you can know.
And I like the fact that even though you are this special agent or this detective, you have the skills to kind of take him out, but you can't because that's not part of the plan. Because
Exactly.
if you do that, then yeah, the mission's compromised.
Exactly. You don't call the shots. The kidnapper calls the
Exactly.
shots, and he wants you to do things he wants. So, exactly.
So when it came to writing these characters, how was that a longer process? Or
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Writing a mystery game is hard because there are a lot of good mystery games out there, and we wanted to make our mystery really special because we have many different kinds of clues. So you've seen the clue where I go into the laptop. You've
Right.
seen some documents I've been reading. There's going to be even more clues in the full game where you can just look at a piece of painting. You can look at dirt tracks on the floor, blood stains, and then all these kind of clues, you kind of have to piece them together. So this is one location, but there'll be at least 4 more locations, and you have to connect the clues across each location
Wow.
to figure out what actually happened to your family, where they're taken, and what you can do about it.
And that's the thing. You want to be able to balance it enough for people to get it, but not too easy that they understand it completely. So
Exactly.
I
think a lot of mystery games don't really connect the clues logically very well. Sometimes they have arbitrary puzzles,
Right.
like some weird combination of code, and yeah, that's cool. But what we want is really what happened in the story,
Right.
Yeah, so that is what we're trying to go for.
And what I like about this is that Well, it doesn't
Oh, I think I'm
necessarily.
gonna die.
Oh
here.
gosh. Okay. My gosh. It's always in this room. You know, it's to check
Always
here. It doesn't hold your hand, but then it also feels like this universe. Because I pulled up the map, right, and it's a whole neighborhood. It's a whole county.
Right. Actually, we can just take a look at that.
Right. And it just seems like this world has already been lived in.
Right.
So we just wait. And there's a time. There's a legit timer. Like.
Yeah. So you can see here, this is the map, and we can actually scroll, we can drag the map around. And this is your very own personal map, which in the first scene, Harry, which is the character, took this map. So he's got notes where his house is, and this is where you currently are, which is the Colonel's house. And then as you go to more locations, you're going to mark more markings on the map. And actually the map, without spoiling, is a pretty big part of the mystery.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Okay.
Yeah,
and
you
that's
can,
crazy.
you can really zoom in here. You can really go in. You can see the details.
See, and
you can see
this
the
also
coordinates.
must have taken you a lot of time to be able to create a map like this, a world like this, a
Yeah.
narrative like this.
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
The total development time is 2.5 years, so
Jeez.
it's a long time.
So tell me, what would be your main demographic for a game like this? Who do you think would enjoy the most?
Yeah, I think the inspirations that we talked about, right? Like people who like a thriller, who like deep story games that are not just a jump scare, but something that really has characters, has a plot, and a story that you can actually control the outcome of, right? Whether you find out where your family is taken, what you can do about it. Like people who like those kind of things, intense psychological horror. Yeah, I think that's the audience.
Yeah, I would say that really ticks all the boxes of some of my friends that really love these type of narrative horrors and also the mystery genre as well. Because you're constantly finding new ways. Well, you're actually put in his shoes. So that's
exactly.
super immersive.
Yeah,
so.
and I think one really cool thing about this mystery game is that most mystery games actually happen after the thing has occurred. The crime or the murder has occurred, and you're working backwards, right? This mystery game is happening right
Oh my gosh.
in front of you,
Uh-huh.
right? You are fighting for your own life and your family's life as you're trying to find out what's going on.
You know,
that's a whole new different level of experience.
I'll peel back the curtain also, because like when I was playing this game at the start, what's that? I walked a little bit away from the house, and then like they just shoot my family. Like, oh my! I was looking around. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
Right,
They're
yeah.
very strict.
The kidnapper makes it very clear he can't be messed with at the beginning, so that's kind of part of the constraint.
So let's see if we can explore a
see.
little bit more here, because we are in our final minutes. How
Right.
many more? Okay. Copy.
I got
Oh
you got me
gosh.
again.
Okay.
Yeah. It does take a few tries to get a hang of it, and
But I like how this game doesn't handhold you, folks, because this is only like the second act, because the first act is in the house.
right.
Second act is like
Right.
planning the bugs,
Right.
and now he's already approached you. How long do you think the full game would take someone?
5 to 6 hours for a typical person, assuming you die a couple of times like I am doing right now, right? If you're really, really good at this kind of thing, maybe 4.5 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You should be away
That's
from the
crazy.
garage
And they can
now.
wish list it as early as now, right?
Right now, the demo that I'm playing right now is free on Steam. You can download it. We're launching in 1 month on November 17 PST, November 18 GMT.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and wishlist on Steam.
Please wish list, folks. It really helps the devs out here. So, what's this over here? Oh, okay.
this
Can
is-
plant a bug.
Yeah, the objective.
Okay.
Doing this now.
So here's a question coming from a lover of mystery and games. Which comes like it's a chicken and egg situation.
Yeah.
Did the mechanics come to you first? Did the story come to you first?
In this case, the story. The
story
story, the
first.
inspiration, the feeling I was trying to get, bringing those thriller movies into the gaming world, that came first. And then the mechanics, we just figured it out along the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like
we
that.
try to balance it along the way, but always trying to get the vibe right, get that sense of excitement right.
Okay.
That's the most important. Yeah.
So real quick, top 5 thriller movies that inspired this.
Right, so we got Taken. Right. There's actually a Hong Kong movie.
Oh.
I think it's called Staying Connected.
Stay Connected,
Yeah,
wow.
it was pretty popular for a short moment. I think it went to Hollywood for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's released in 2008. It's also about where some parent and child is kidnapped, and you have to kind of
Okay,
save them.
I'm gonna start putting this in my letterbox. Okay, so it's Taken, Stay Connected.
Yeah, and Don't Breathe.
Don't
Right.
Breathe.
Obviously, we talked about
We got that there.
Yeah, and
Mission
you know,
Impossible, you mentioned.
Yeah, Mission Impossible. Even some other thriller games like Welcome to the Game. It's a huge indie hit.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
very popular online. All the horror YouTubers have played it. Markiplier.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so those are all inspirations there.
Nice. Okay. So let's make this our last playthrough before we wrap things up. But is there anything else that we haven't explored yet? Because this is where we entered through the house.
Right. So after, assuming I actually beat this sequence, I'll have to leave the house, and I've got my car parked right there, and you can see there's a whole outside world going on.
True.
And there's actually one more killer waiting for me outside.
No way.
Yeah, so
Oh,
if you play the
God.
demo, you will be able to find it out for yourself, how to navigate him, right?
That's wild.
What is his patterns? So every thread has their own pattern, has their own thing that they work on. So
Oh.
you have to work through it.
I will say, aside from people that love the thriller genre, I think the people that would love a challenge or like stealth games,
Right.
would definitely take this one to heart. Again, the wish list is. I mean, the demo's out now. It's for free, and you got to stay tuned to Lost Art Studios for them to be able to release the full game of this. So now there's actually a balcony part.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
he can see you from up there.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Oh,
Uh-oh,
here he
oh
comes, here he
gosh.
comes. Okay.
He's not relenting. He's actually his gun is always drawn.
Oh, he's here until he finds you, man. Yeah. So you've got to be able to complete the objectives, get the clues, and then get the hell out of there. So,
Okay, this is kind of scary with how, I mean, with the stealth genre, because the thing is with the action genres we've seen, stealth is not really prioritized. You know, guns blazing, but here this really it ramps up the tension in this game.
right. Yeah, and in the future levels, there will be more than one threat, right?
Okay.
Multiple threats at the same time. So.
Okay. So, folks, I feel like we got to wrap things up here. So
Okay.
we're just going to cut straight to the wide shot. Boyan, thank you so much for the time. Any final thoughts before we wrap up the segment here?
Yeah, I'm just thanks for having me. You know, when we signed up for Indie Wavemakers, right, we didn't know how much coverage we're gonna get, but we're just very grateful that I can be here and talk to you.
I'm super happy that you're here. Guys, do check
you.
out Unreachable, once again, by Lost Art Studios. It's already available on Steam, the demo. Check it out. Leave some great reviews and some feedback there. This guy's been an amazing one here on the panel. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more of Indie Wavemakers, folks.